Hey rugby fans, welcome back to my channel. Now my name is Ralph and welcome back to Rugby Fanatic. Now in today's video we're diving into a topic that's been on every Aussie rugby fan's mind, and the question is, who's going to replace Joe Schmidt as the Wallabies head coach? Now, with the 2025 season fast approaching, especially they've got the British and Irish Lions tour as they, fly out to, the Aussie land, which is going to be, a tough contest between the two. It's going to be a good game to watch, and looking forward to the British and Irish Lions tour in Australia. And also, we've got the 2027 Rugby World Cup just around the corner. And, this decision here could shape the future of Australian rugby. And let's break it down, some key candidates, and talk about who could take over the reins. So, first off, let's start talking about Joe Schmidt. Now, honestly, he's definitely brought a wealth of experience, to the Wallabies. As you Aussie fans remember, there's been some glimpse of some positives in their performance. There's been some little changes, little tweaks last year in the Northern Tour. They've beaten England, they've come up with some big teams, and we thought, man, there's some changes, but let's be honest, things haven't, gone to plan, despite his great success, with Ireland, and also Smith's time with the All Blacks. And, his time with the Wallabies has been, truthfully inconsistent. And the team has struggled to maintain, a high performance. Watching a podcast, and someone was interviewing Phil Wall, a rugby Australian CEO, and he's made it clear that he's looking for a coach who can stick to, a system, bring consistency, and also lead Australia to, towards the 2027 Rugby World Cup. But here's the issue. I mean, the current system just isn't delivering, in my opinion. Like, sure, consistency matters, but when the results aren't there, it's time to consider change. So, who could step into Joe Smith's shoes? I mean, there are two names that I could think really stand out for this role. Could be Brad Thorn. I mean, he and also Dave Rennie. And potentially Robbie Deans, if he comes back, you never know. And also Les Kiss, who's the current coach, Brad Vaughan's replacement, now as the head coach for Reds in the Super Rugby Pacific. So, yeah, I mean, I've come up with two candidates, but let's start with Brad Thorn. I mean, he's been the head coach of the Queensland Reds for a while now, and under his leadership, the Reds have, really turned things around. They've built a strong squad, and Thorn's leadership has helped take them to the next level in, Super Rugby. But here's the thing. I mean, Thorn has recently stepped down, as I mentioned, as the head coach of the Reds, and is now, serving an assistant coaching role for the First 15 college rugby team in Brisbane. But this means he's no longer a contender for the Wallabies' top job right now. So, potentially he could. What I do know is that there's one person that that is right for this job, and I think this candidate is potentially probably the best, in my opinion, that could change Australian rugby. I think this person has a wealth of experience, and he's coached the Wallabies before. So I want to talk about Dave Rennie. Now, his first stint as the Wallabies head coach, I mean, he didn't deliver the results, the Australian fans were hoping for. But let's not forget what he's achieved. I mean, before taking the Wallabies job, Rennie was a successful coach with the Chiefs in New Zealand. Incredible rugby mind, and knows how to build competitive teams. Dave Rennie's time with the Wallabies was a bit of a mixed bag. He did work with a lot of the current players, and he understands Australian rugby culture. Plus, Rennie's got that, crucial experience of coaching at the highest level. If he was to return, I believe he'd have learned from his first experience, and he could bring, fresh ideas to a squad that still has a lot of potential. So why do we need change? The truth is Australian rugby needs a new direction, I guess. The current system has not been getting results that they need to compete at, the very top. Sure, consistency is important, but sometimes change is exactly what's needed to break the cycle of underperformance. But Brad Thorn might have the experience while he's taking the Reds to a great place with him stepping down with less Kiss. He could be the potential. He's put his hand up to become head coach for Australia. So Les Kiss has got wealth of experience as well. The focus should shift to someone who can help elevate the Wallabies. I mean, Dave Rennie, with his understanding of the players and his coaching experience at the top level, could be the man to reset the course and get Australia back to the peak. So in my opinion, you've got Robbie Dean's potential candidate for Australia, with his wealth of experience, obviously, winning multiple Super Rugby titles with Crusaders. He's been successful, and he's coached the Wallabies before, and be good to have his presence back into the mix as well. So he could be a potential candidate as well. But in my opinion, I'm sticking with Dave Rennie. I mean, he deserves another shot. I mean, he knows how to develop talent. He understands what it takes to build a strong squad. And after learning from his first time in charge, I think he could be the coach to lead Wallabies to 2027 Rugby World Cup. I mean, after when, Eddie Jones, took charge, and, he was the replacement for Dave Rennie. So Dave Rennie had to leave, which was sad for Dave Rennie. I felt like he didn't get that, that chance to sort of develop and, and also establish something in Australia. And he was taking them to new heights and, new changes. So I'm hoping that, he would come back and, step into that role again after, Eddie Jones failed to, to take charge of the Wallabies in, a poor Rugby World Cup campaign. He's not without his challenges. I do believe with Dave Rennie, with the right backing, if he has a lot of support around him, I think he could take the team to the next level. I think he could take Australia, to a top level. And so, yeah, I mean, there you have it. My thoughts on who could replace Joe Schmidt as the Wallabies head coach. Dave Rennie stands out as a solid option for me, as I mentioned. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think should be the next Wallabies head coach? And as always, don't forget to hit the like and share and subscribe to my channel for more rugby content. And thanks for tuning in, and keep supporting your rugby teams and keep the rugby spirit alive. And we will see you in the next video.